Have you ever met someone who seemed super friendly, but turned out to be a master con artist? Or the opposite, met someone who was cold, stiff, didn't talk much, but actually turned out to be the most honest person you've ever known? Yep, welcome to a world where we're all terrible at reading strangers. Segment 1. Default to truth. Imagine this. You meet someone who says, I like cats, I do yoga, and I'll definitely pay you back next week. Your brain immediately goes, are you sure about that? But okay, let's just trust them for now. According to Malcolm Gladwell, this is called default to truth. By default, we believe people are honest, because if we were always suspicious, we'd end up living like paranoid detectives. The problem is, this makes us vulnerable to being deceived. For example, the Bernie Madoff case, a top-class con artist who scammed billions of dollars. Even smart people believed him because their default was to trust. But our intuition is often betrayed by appearances. Segment 2. Transparency error. This is where we often misread expressions. We think if someone smiles, they must be happy, and if they're nervous, they must be lying. That's a big mistake, folks. For example, Amanda Knox. She was accused of killing her friend because her expression didn't look sad, even though she was innocent. Because her face didn't match people's expectations, they thought she was guilty. We judge strangers like we're reading the wrong subtitles. Segment 3. Coupling. Behavior is tied to context. Here's another trap. We forget that behavior depends on context. A Harvard professor could steal if the situation is right, and an ordinary person could become a hero when pushed to the limit. A real-life example, the suicide cases at the Golden Gate Bridge. When safety barriers were installed at that location, the suicide rate dropped drastically. Why? Because their suicidal urges were tied to the place, not a permanent intention. Behavior is a combination of the person and the context. Don't just judge someone by who they are, but also by where they are. Segment 4. The consequences of misunderstanding. And this is the most tragic part. When we fail to understand strangers, the consequences can be fatal. Remember the Sandra Bland case? An African-American woman who was stopped by the police for a minor violation and ended up dead in custody. The police misread her nervousness as a threat when she was just anxious. Ignorance plus bias plus misunderstanding the context is a recipe for tragedy. Segment 5. Conclusion and solutions. So, what's the solution? Gladwell says we need to be more humble. Don't be quick to judge people. Don't jump to conclusions. We have to realize that understanding strangers is hard. We'll never fully understand others 100%, and that's not a weakness. It's just being human. So, next time you talk to a stranger, don't just focus on their smile, their voice, or their Gucci jacket. Pay attention to what you don't know, because sometimes the person you can trust the most is actually the one you were most suspicious of at first. Well, welcome to Talking to Strangers.